What is up, guys? Jim here, and today we're going to install some gauges on my C10. I know it's been like 3 years since I posted a video. It's been a long time. A lot of crazy things happening in life. That thing that happened a few years ago that we're not allowed to mention on YouTube, that kind of put a damper on a lot of things. But the dust is settling now, and I'm out here just trying to get back into the swing of things and make some more videos for you guys. So I haven't given you guys an update on the midnight special in a long time. So as you can see here, it's got a wrap on it now. It's like a Nardo gray wrap, and I also had the wheels powder coated, and looks fucking sweet. So I also put this vinyl wrap on the top here, this American flag thing. That looks pretty fucking good. But other than that, I haven't really touched this car in like, I don't know, a couple of years. I did I don't know, an ABS delete, something like that. I haven't really done anything power wise or anything on it. It's still got the nitrous kit, stuff like that. But I'm just driving it around, putting a lot of miles on it. Last month I drove it out on Power Tour, so I did all that. I put 3,000 miles on it, so it was really good. It didn't even pick up at all. Made it the entire 3,000 miles with no problems. So I was really stoked about that, and hoping to just make some more videos about this shit for you guys, because like I said, it's been a long time and I miss making videos. So trying to get back into it. My GoPro is still a piece of crap, but it just is what it is. So maybe one of these days I'll get one of those Hero 9s. Or what's the new one they got out? Hero 11, 12? I don't even know, to be honest with you. I'm not a tech guy. Wouldn't be able to tell you, but I'm working with a Hero 3, so it is what it is. And so I guess what we're going to do today, like I said in the introduction, is we're going to install some gauges on my C10. But you guys, this C10's never even been on the channel before. I spent probably the last year or so building it. I went down to Virginia to get it because I live in the Northeast, as some of you guys know. And up here in the Northeast, you can't get anything that's rust-free. So I found this thing on Marketplace. It was all the way down in Virginia. So, I talked to the guy, hooked up my trailer, and I went and picked it up. As you can see, it's a pretty sweet truck. I mean, it didn't look like this, when I got it like a year and a half. I put a ton of work into it, As you can see, it's lowered down. I did the whole chassis, the suspension, notched the frame. It's lowered 7 inches in the back with a flip kit. And up front, I did the drop spindles, the drop springs. I put new control arms on it, so it's got new bushings, ball joints, bearings, brakes all around, the whole friggin' nine. Everything is all original still. It's never been restored or anything like that. As you can see in the interior here, it's even still got the original radio in it. I do have the original steering wheel. I just put this thing on there because it's way better than the original steering wheel. The thing was friggin' huge. So, and obviously, as far as the motor goes, as my OGs know, you guys know what I did in here. As you can guess, put an LT1 in there, and this LT1 is actually kind of special in a way. Special to me, it doesn't matter. If you guys know the YouTuber Rich Rebuilds, he was that guy that built the V8 Tesla for the SEMA show a few years ago. So his shop is not that far from where I'm at, and he ended up pulling this motor out of a C4 Corvette because he was going to electrify the Corvette. If you know his channel at all, he electrifies a ton of vehicles. He owns the Electrified Garage in New Hampshire and stuff like that. He's a pretty high-profile guy around here. So he pulled this motor out of a low-mile Corvette. You can see that on his channel if you want to check it out, Rich Rebuilds. And I got in touch with him, asked him if I could buy the motor off him, and he ended up giving it to me for really cheap. And it came with the Corvette composite valve covers on it, so I ended up selling the valve covers more than I paid for the motor. So literally paid nothing for the motor. And since it's basically a small block 350, it dumps right into here. It uses the regular long tubes for a C10, And as you can see, I put the PCM right here. I mounted the PCM. New junction block right there for, the electronics and shit like that. And, that's pretty much it. It's got some old school brush mufflers on it, so it sounds, vintage, so it has that like vintage hot rod sound. And that's pretty much it. So actually the truck itself has a decent story behind it. It's a 2-owner, 1-family truck. So the guy that bought it brand new back in 1981, and he drove this thing around till, I'm assuming, must have been the mid 90s, because when I got this, the license plate that was on it, the last registration on it was 96. So what happened was, I guess the original owner that bought it ended up dying many years later, and he gave it to his nephew, who it sat in his field in Virginia forever. As you can see the patina on here, this is natural patina. This isn't like, you know, one of those things where you make a fake patina type deal. You know, check out the hood. So it looks like from the registration that it sat in the field since 1996, but all that's on the truck is surface rust. That's it. The frame is perfect. You can see the nice patina right here. So I just went down there and I rescued it, of course, you know. And then here we are. I've been driving it around a little bit. I just started driving it probably a month ago, putting a lot of miles on it, shaking it down, and it's just doing real good. I mean, it's an old Chevy truck. You can't kill the things, you know what I mean? And the LT1 is bulletproof. It came from a low-mile Corvette. So that's about it. So you know what? We're gonna set up and get ready to put these gauges in, and we'll go from there. All right, so these are the gauges we're gonna be putting in here. They're regular, just like Amazon gauges, you know, nothing like auto meter or, you know, any kind of good gauge like that. Just kind of crappy. I wouldn't say crappy. I mean, this was $100 and this thing was like $60 or some shit like that. Yeah, so crappy, pretty much crappy. But all the original gauges in the truck work anyways, but I just want to throw these in to see how accurate it is, you know what I mean? So volts, like who gives a shit about that? And coolant temperature, oil pressure, and a tach. Thanks, dude. It doesn't have a tach inside the truck. I guess I did a little research, and I guess some of the C10s had tachs in the gauge bezels, but I guess it's kind of rare. And to be honest, I've never seen one of these square bodies with a tach actually in the instrument panel right there. So, and now that it's got a decent motor in it, I got to see what this thing's friggin' revving at. You know what I mean? With the gutless 305, it didn't friggin' matter or valve float before anything happened, you know? So, like I said, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna install this on top of the steering wheel. This thing's gonna go, you know, down the bottom off to the right somewhere. We'll figure that out. And then, obviously, in the engine, we're gonna have to hook up the sending units. So what we have here, this one is for the oil pressure, you know what I mean? And I got this little thing here. I had it on my pot shelf. I don't even know where this came from. Looks like a little manifold or something like that. So I'm gonna take the other one off that is on the back of the intake manifold of the China wall, and I'm gonna screw this into there so I can screw the other one in and then also screw this one in, so I'll still have the gauge on the instrument panel. And same with the coolant temp sensor. This is gonna go in like the cylinder head or something like that, you know what I mean? And when you screw these in, you have two choices here, you know, the pipe thread sealant or the tape. Some people use tape. Listen, if a piece of that tape breaks off and gets in a coolant passage or gets in an oil galley or something like that, you're screwed. So do me a favor, do yourself a favor, don't use the tape. Save this for your water plumbing inside your house, okay? What you want to use is a nice pipe sealant like this, a nice pipe dope, the old guys call it. So we got that. We got the senders, we got the manifold, we got the gauges, a ton of wire, connectors, all kinds of shit. So I'm gonna set this up and bring you guys back in when it makes sense, right? All right, guys, so I think I got the mounting locations for this down. I'm gonna put the tack on the column right here, like you see right there. It looks like it's cocked off to the side like that, but that's only because, you know, when you put it on drive, it'll be straight up and down. So I think that'll work out perfect right there, and I'll be able to run the wire. I don't know if you guys can see. I'll be able to run the wires back through there. And then this gauge right here, I'm gonna mount it right here, and I think that'll work out perfect because they're already angled. Like it comes, if you can see that, it's angled out towards this way so the driver will be able to see it. And I think this will be the perfect location for that. So I'm gonna go ahead, permanently mount these things. I'm gonna run some wires around like that, do all the boring stuff, and then when I do the sending unit, I'll show you guys how to do that. Okay? Peace. Alright, well, that took way longer than it really had to, but everything's mounted. All the wires are run, as you can see. I got the wires back there. Same for this thing. I made a little harness and put it all back there and brought it out through the firewall with a nice little grommet down there. I got rid of some old wires that aren't being used. I think it was for the cruise control or something like that. So now I got all these wires here. I got to identify those and I'll be able to make those final connections. But for right now, like I was saying before, we got to get ready to do those the sending units. So we have the oil pressure sender and the coolant temp sender. So I'm going to, like I was saying earlier, I'm going to take off the other oil pressure sender, put this manifold on, and then I'll put the existing one back on and then put this one on it as well. And then as far as this thing goes, I think there's a spot right in the head. We'll check that out too. I hope I don't lose too much coolant doing this, but shouldn't be a big deal. I'm gonna set this up and start doing that shit. Alright boys, well, it took me a couple hours, but I got all the sending units in. The biggest problem I had was taking the pipe plug out on the cylinder head to put the sending unit in for the coolant temp sensor. This little guy here, I thought this was like a 3/8 ratchet size or a 1/4 inch or something. It's not, it's a friggin' 5/16. So I originally shaved down a 3/8 like extension and tried to use that and it broke off. That didn't fucking work. So I went to like 3 different hardware stores and I went to Harbor Freight Tools. They didn't have nothing. AutoZone had nothing. So then I went to my local hardware store and this nice little old woman got me this, just a 5/16 square. I put it in, I hooked it up to my 12-inch friggin' Duralast heavy duty Supreme and pulled it right out. So I was able to get the sender in down here for the coolant temp. I got the sender right there for the oil pressure, and then I just got to pick up the tack wire over there from the PCM and then connect all these babies and we're gonna go. All right, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make all these final connections with these wires, tie this shit down and test it out, and hopefully everything works, you know what I mean? So I'll catch you guys in just a few. Well, all right boys, everything's wired in. That was kind of a pain in the balls because I like to do it right, get everything in the looms and shit like that. So I got all that done. This one's kind of looking weird, like it shouldn't be there, but I just don't want it touching the headers and shit, so it's just gonna hang there like that, like free in the air. Oh, I might want to get it off the steering shaft actually. Oh, that might not be good. Well, I'm gonna figure that out real quick, and then we're gonna take this thing for a ride, right? Well, all right boys, it was kind of a long ass afternoon because I ran into a bunch of snags. It looked easy to you guys just because, you know, looks like it only took me 20 minutes to you guys, but in reality, this took me all goddamn day because I'm running around town and just dealing with stupid horse shit. But it's finally done. I got everything wired up. I'm gonna shut the hood down, go inside and twist the key, and we'll see what happens. As long as everything's good, we'll take it for a ride and test these gauges out. Well, here we go guys. Here goes nothing. We got a tack. So far the tack is working. We have oil pressures. Not greatish oil pressures. Well, yeah, it's 40 pounds. That's pretty good. And I'm assuming the temp gauge is going to work. The voltmeter works. And like I was saying before, all the factory gauges work too. It's just you can't see them because they're cloudy as heck. I looked into getting a new gauge bezel right there, and they don't make them aftermarket, and people want like 200 bucks for them on eBay, so I'm not doing that. But I got a headlight restorer kit, so I'm gonna do that, see if that helps. But in the meantime, at least I got these real gauges that we can, you know, use to monitor this goddamn engine. Let's take this fucking thing for a ride real quick. That I finally have a tach. Jesus Christ. Those gauges seem to be working down there. It's going to take a minute for the temp gauge to start rolling. Oh, and if I turn my headlights on, the lights should work in it. Oh, they do. Oh, this is so exciting. Well, I guess that's it, guys. Like I said, I'm hoping to break into this thing again and start doing a lot more videos like I used to. I feel bad for the OGs that used to watch me all the time, and then I just disappeared, but every once in a while you guys reach out to me and ask me where I've been and whatever, and I do answer you, I do let you know. And you know, like I said, my life is just starting, you know, everything, the dust is settling now after a couple of years of just being crazy, all kinds of just crazy crap in my life. And, you know, now I'm ready to do this shit again. I wish I had documented the entire build on the C10, but you know, I just didn't. I wasn't, I didn't have the time for it, I guess, at the time. I didn't want to deal with the camera. I just didn't want to deal with it. Sometimes it can be aggravating dealing with the camera and setting up shots and all that shit, you know what I mean? So, but we're over that and hopefully making some more videos for you guys. I got a ton more stuff we're going to be doing to the C10, so stay tuned for that. We're also going to be doing some more racing with the Midnight Special. Hopefully take the C10 up there just for funs too, you know what I mean? It won't be that fast. It's got a 256 rear gear, so it's you know, it'll be sluggish off the line, but it's got twice the power that it was born with, so it should be all right. But either way, stay tuned. I'm sorry for taking 3 years to upload a video, but I'll be back at it. All right, boys? Peace.